Welcome back to Spring Into Math 6. This is Mr. Stein as always, and today we're talking fractions with integers. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at multiplying and dividing fractions with integers. So as a reminder, an integer is a whole number, not a fractional number, and it can be positive or negative or 0. So quick examples of integers are simply -5, 1, 5, 8, 97, -85, it doesn't matter. Any number that's a whole number, whether it's positive or negative, are integers. So let's try a problem. So what's 1/8 of 48? So basically we're dividing 48 into 8 equal parts because we're putting it into eighths. So one way to think of it is like 48 divided by 8, and 48 divided by 8 is simply 6. So there are 6 in each group, so the answer is 6. Let's look at it a different way. You can also write it like this. And for a lot of us, I think this might be the more simple way. So we're saying 1/8 of 48. So 1/8 times 48. So if you have 1/8 times 48, you put 48 over 1, and then you just multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and then simplify. So we have 1 times 48 is 48, 8 times 1 is 8, and then 48 divided by 8, which is 6. So really it's the same way we just did it, but just a little bit more sticking with how we've been working with fractions. All right, let's try another one. So what number is 1/6 of 72? So again, you're going to basically divide 72 into 6 equal groups. So if you take 72 and divide it by 6, you're going to get 12 because 6 times 12 is 72. So in this example, there'd be 12 in each group. But let's take a look at it as a fraction. So again, remember when you think of the word, when I read it as what number is 1/6 of 72, you're really multiplying. So 1/6 times 72 over 1 because you have to make 72 a fraction. And if you multiply the numerators, 1 times 72 is 72, 6 times 1 is 6, and then you're dividing to put it in simplest form. 72 divided by 6 is 12. So they're just different ways to reach the same answer. All right, let's try one more. What's 1/5 of 150? So again, I think the easiest way is just to set it up. Now, of course, you can divide 150 divided 5. That's essentially what we're going to do, but just maybe to keep things consistent, you put 1/5 times 150 over 1. 1 times 150 is 150. 5 times 1 is 5. And then essentially you're going back to 150 divided by 5, which is 30, because 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then you'd have the 0 coming along for the ride. All right, so let's try a word problem here. Jack wants to give a treat to his 2 friends. Jack buys a small chocolate pastry that weighed 1/4 of a pound. He divides the pastry into 2 equal parts. What is the weight of each friend's pastry? So let's think about it. He's basically dividing the total amount of pastry by the number of pieces. So we have 1/4 pound pastry divided by the 2 people he's sharing it with. So we're going to write 2 as an improper fraction. We're going to put 2 over 1 to make it a fraction. And so we're basically dividing 1/2 divided by 2 over 1. Well, just like before, you can't exactly do that. So you got to then, you got to turn it into something a little different, right? So you got to just multiply it across. Okay, so then if you think about it, if you have 1/4 times 1/2, it'd be 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 2 is 8, so you'd be getting an 1/8. All right, so let's try another one. Frederick made strawberry ice cream and wants to serve his guests. How many 1/3 scoop servings are in 2 cups of ice cream? So essentially, he has 2 cups of ice cream, and he's wondering how many 1/3 cup scoops are in there. So we need to look at mixed numbers and whole numbers are written as improper fractions, so keep that in mind. So we have a couple, because if you think about it, we had 1/3 in 2 cups. So we have 2 divided by 1/3. So then we have 2 over 1 divided by 1/3. So then we have 2 over 1 times 3 over 1. And 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1. So we have 6 over 1, which is the same as 6. All right, now let's look at one in a visual way. So we have Bill, and he wants to share wafer biscuits with his 3 friends. I know it's a little silly. What is a wafer biscuit? You can tell me. How much wafer biscuit will each of his friends get if 3 friends share a 1/2 pound of wafer biscuit? So think about it. You have 3 people sharing a 1/2 of a pound. So if all 3 friends shared a wafer biscuit that's a 1/2 pound, it would kind of look like this. So you can see this visual representation. You have 3 pieces and you have a 1/2. So you have to think, what fraction can I add 3 of them together that would still equal a 1/2? So if you think about it, if I turned it into sixths, and each person got a 6, it'd be 1 6, 2 6, 3 6. 3 6 is the same as a half, so each person would be getting 1/6 of a pound of that wafer biscuit. All right, so I hope that kind of brings it all home. See you next time.